Bones of clubs and societies. This topic is going to be covered here. So what are the content you need to be mastered before you proceed in this chapter? No. Before you begin, you need to have the knowledge of receipts and payments account, which is similar to the cash and bank account or cash and bank book you might have studied, cash book you might have studied in your earlier chapters. So revise the cash book chapter ahead. Okay, especially the format and rules. And you need to understand the income and expenditure account also. Okay, this income and expenditure account we are supposed to prepare here is similar to the income statement you might have studied in earlier chapters. Okay, profit and loss is called here. In income statement, the balances will be either called as profit or loss. But in case of income and expenditure, this will be named as surplus or deficit. That will be named as surplus or deficits. Okay. And instead of capital, we can call this being accumulated fund. The rest will be the same like. You can easily link this with the income statement in case of income and expenditure. And statement of financial position also similar. Only the capital is going to be replaced with accumulated fund, and the profit added with the capital is nothing but surplus or deficit will be shown separately. This statement of financial position is usually prepared after the above statements. For understanding the format, you better master the financial statement chapter ahead. And of course, you need to prepare the income statement also, as it is being the entity not for making any profit. So the amount collected from the members will be called as subscription, and services rendered for the common benefit for all the members. Okay. And meanwhile, rather than doing this one alone, they may do some other business activity also slightly. For the business component only you can prepare income statement. So a society or club, usually their intention is not to make profit. That's why it is called a surplus or deficit. It's a common benefit for all the members. Subscription received and supported for others. And small activity may also be done to make the profit. This will be separately prepared as a similar to the income statement, and ultimate answer will be transferable to the income and expenditure account. So all the activities are shown in the income and expenditure account. That is also similar to the income statement only, but the result will be called as a surplus or deficit, not the profit or loss. And if this club has some business component also involved, from this if you find out any profit, finally it will also be transferable to the income statement. Okay, income and expenditure account. So only business components. Predominantly their revenue is depending on the members' subscription, and no one is the owner. Amount collected from the members will be named as accumulated fund. So capital is now replaced with accumulated fund, and the revenue predominantly is nothing but the membership is collected. So subscription amount and this one. So these are the two things you have to understand. So you know that the accounting equation approach, assets plus liability, asset is equal to capital plus liabilities, or capital is equal to asset minus liabilities. Similarly, liability is equal to assets minus capital. That you know. But instead of capital, you now call this being the accumulated fund. That's all. You don't have any other confusions. And opening accumulated fund may need adjustment using some missing figures. Sometimes the opening fund or closing fund, some data may not be given. Just similar to the incomplete records, you prepare some accumulated fund account to find out any missing data. And members will give lots of amount to the organizations, to the club. Okay, this subscription account resembles like receivable account. Right, so you know that other receivables account, other payables and other receivables. In case of other receivables, how do you write? Okay, balance if this is being the asset, balance if this is being the liabilities. In case of receivables, if you receive in advance, then it's a liability. Advance being the liability. Is that okay? Liability will appear in the credit and debit side. Okay, if there is an outstanding or accrued, it will be your asset. will appear here and here. Opening outstanding, closing outstanding, opening advance and closing advances. Whenever you receive the subscription money, then bank or cash or member's name will be posted here, and this will be the ultimate amount transferable to the income and expenditure. This is what about the matching amount transferable to the income and expenditure. Usually profit and loss account, but here it is called income and expenditure. And this is nothing but the amount transferable to the bank account, payment side. So receipt side. This is receipt side. This is what about the expense means income side. Used to compute the subscription received and advance, outstanding, etc. This receivable account. Refer financial statement chapter. There we have studied other receivables account in detail, so you can recollect from there itself. Anyhow, I have given the format for the better understanding here also. Okay, for the recap purpose. And you better prepare the trade receivables and payables, assets, provision for depreciation, disposal of assets account. All these chapters were already discussed in the previous chapters in financial statement chapter. Especially depreciation might have been studied under accounting for depreciation and disposal of current non-current assets chapter we have completed already there. So having the knowledge of these chapters will help you to solve this particular topics illustrations much better way. Is that clear? Now, already I gave the format here. The format is given here. Opening being the assets. In case of subscription, this being the income. If the income remains to be collected an asset, so put that here. Okay, post that here. In case amount received in advance, then you are liable, so it should be posted in the liability side, credit side here. And amount received will be posted here, and finally it is transferred to the income and expenditure account. Hope you will be now able to understand the format of subscription account. Now, how do you prepare the income and expenditure account? So income and expenditure. Predominantly, we have the subscription as the income. And this club may do some business activities also. For that, they will prepare financial income statement. Okay, in the income statement, they prepare what? They find out the profit or losses. Okay, income minus expenses, you get the deficits. Okay, so profit or loss. This profit or loss will be taken here. Profit from the business. Okay, apart from that, we may have some other income also be posted under income side. Temporarily, we may invest and we generate some returns. Okay, on that investment like interest and whatever it may be will be income, total income. And this income will be used for paying various administration costs like wages, rates and insurance, depreciation, other expenses. The final value will be called as surplus. Usually this will be called as profit, but under clubs, no, it will be named as surplus for the year. Clear? Now, let's go for the statement of financial position. Statement of financial position. In case of statement of financial position, this is also more or less same like financial position you studied in your financial statement chapter. But instead of capital, we have the accumulated fund. Rest will be the same. See, non-current assets, land and building, machinery, fixtures and equipment for an illustrative purpose are given 3 assets. Usually, whatever the cost you pay for purchasing the asset will be starting with that accumulated depreciation subtracted, so balance will be the net book value posted in the other column, outer column. And current assets being shop inventory, subscription accrued. Other subscription accrued means amount recoverable, right? So it's an asset. And bank balances. In case of capital and liabilities, we don't have directly capital term here. Instead of the capital, we have what? Accumulated fund. Opening balances, in case any surplus can be added with that. In case of loss, it can be subtracted. Okay. So with the opening balance, we add the surplus. In case of deficit, we subtract that. So we will find out the closing accumulated fund. Apart from that, we have the current liabilities also. So you no need to study or spare time to understand this additionally, but you can link with your financial statement preparation itself here directly. Clear? Now let's start with the question number 1 here. Ria Music Club owns its premises where it has a shop and a number of music rooms. This is a club. Shop sales are for cash and shop purchases are on credit. There are sales and purchases also available. Treasurer provide the following information. So we have been given the subscription in advance and arrear. Total shop trade payables, shop inventory and balance at bank. All the details are there. And for the year end 31st December 2020 subscription received, shop purchases, all the details are available here. Is that clear? Okay. What to be done? Prepare subscription account, balance the account and bring down the balances. Prepare total shop trade payables account for the year ended 31st December 2020 and calculate the amount paid to shop trade payables. So we have to prepare the trade payables as well as subscriptions account from this details. Clear? Now, let's see. I need to prepare subscription account and trade payables account, trade shop payables account. First, to finish up the format here. Okay. Subscriptions account. And trade shop trade payables account. Trade shop trade payables account. Okay. In case of subscription, balance brought down, balance brought down, balance brought down, balance carried on, balance carried on. You remember the format. And here it may be the receipts, either it may be bank or cash. And in case of the balance amount, it will be transferable to the income and expenditure account. Income and expenditure account. Remember, this will be asset. In case of subscription being the income, if it is being the outstanding, then it's asset. If you receive the income in advance, then you are liable, so liabilities. It will be appearing here. And you can write here also balance brought down and balance brought down. In case of trade payables, the book will be same like, but trade payables is a liability. Opening liability will be appearing only in the credit side and closing liabilities appearing here. This is like purchases only, no. When you purchase, then payables will increase. So purchases, this is similar to creditors, okay. Creditors account like. This is similar to creditors account like. Whenever the payables increases, that should be posted in the credit side. If it decreases, it should be posted in the debit side. Purchases and purchase return will decrease. And if you are making any payment, also reduces the balance. If you are supposed to pay extra amount due to some delay in payment, that will be called as interest. While making the payment, if you are getting discount, it will reduce the balance. Again, rewrite here as balance brought down for the next periods in integrations. Subscription in advance, opening and closing. Advance being the liability, so opening should be here and closing should be here. Subscription in arrears, arrear being the assets, so opening should be here, 5,215, 5,830 should be here. Total shop, it's not trade shop, huh? Total shop trade payables. Okay, trade payables. Trade payables means outstanding. In the beginning, 4275, in the end, 4990. Shop inventory. Inventory. In the beginning and the end will be the same. No need to worry about this one. I'll explain that later on. Bank at bank, balance at bank also be not required for me. For the year 31st December 2020, subscription received being this much, 36,700. And shop purchases. Once you purchase, then amount payable will be increasing. So here 34,200. Shop purchase return, that reduces the amount payable to them, 1,710. Interest charged on overdue, of shop trade payables. You delayed the payment, so you have to pay the interest. The amount payable to the creditor seller increases due to the delay payment also be posted here, which is nothing but interest. Sometimes we may get discount also. Discount receipt will be decreasing the value, it should be posted here. This is similar to the creditors like or other payables like. Now I can tally this, the value being 43,730, 43,730, and the balancing figure here being 37,465. So if I tally this, the balance being 38,675, 38,675. This balancing figure will be considered as payment made to them. Hope this value being 31,975. Is that okay? Okay, interest component is 200. Sorry, this value being 200. I stand corrected. So rewrite here 4,990. Here being 1,050. Here 5,830. The favorite book club was formed several years ago. The subscription amount of $52 per annum has remained unchanged since the club started. So, since very long ago, the subscription amount being $52 per annum per member. All subscriptions are paid by check or credit transfer. The treasurer provided the following informations. So, subscription in advance. Okay. See, per member 52 means there is an advance of 260 means divided by 52. What does it mean? 5 members paid in advance. That's a logic, but of course not required. But if it is needed, you need to understand. And here it is a 3 members. Then similarly, we have the arrears and insurance paid in advance, cash at bank, and receipts and payment. The club had 128 members in 21 and 120 in 2022. The treasurer is aware that 4 current members will not pay their subscription for 2022. Okay. She has decided to write off these subscriptions off. This is nothing but subscription written off. This will be treated as irrecoverable debt like. Okay. Now prepare subscriptions account and balance the account and bring down the balances. Apart from that, you have to prepare income and expenditure account. So this one carries 7 marks, this one carries 6 marks. So for 2021, 128 members per member, it should be at the rate of 52 means how much we have to recover. 128 into 52. 6,656. 6,656. For 2022, the treasurer, we have 120 members. So 120 into 52, the amount recoverable being 6,240. This is the income for the period. 6,240 will be the income. Amount transferable to the income and the expenditure account. Treasurer is aware that 4 current members will not pay their subscription for 2022. Here, from this we don't recover for 4 members. Per member it is 52 means for 4 members 208 we need to get, that will not be recoverable. So that subscription should be written off, is treated as irrecoverable debt like. Irrecoverable debt like. So rest will be pretty simple. We'll finish off just like that. Okay. I'll carry on to the next page. This will be the another information. Yeah. So subscription account and income and expenditure account. Subscription account. and income and expenditure statement. Income and expenditure statement or account. Income and expenditure account. So you finish off writing the format here. Balance brought down. Balance brought down. Here balance carried on. Balance brought down. Balance carried on. And write it down. Balance brought down. Balance brought down. Now amount recovered, bank account or cash account here, transferable to the income and expenditure account. This will be outstanding, asset being outstanding, liability being the amount received in advance. So advance being the liability. Now I just post all the available information. Subscription in advance. Advance being the liability, so 260 here, 156 here. Subscription in arrear in the year beginning 468. In the year end 1040. And we have been given insurance paid in advance also. Okay. This will be adjusted with the insurance account. Cash at bank also be given. Not required. Subscription received for the period being 5356. And we have been given rent paid, insurance paid, general expenses paid. In that insurance advance also be there. So you have to adjust this. And from this, income and expenditure amount for the period being this one, 6,240. I am going to prepare for 2022. 6,240. Already given, so I just directly post this. And subscription written off to the extent not recoverable is treated as what? Irrecoverable debt. That will be shown here. That will be shown here. This value being 208. 208. If I total this, the total being 6,864, 6,864, it gets tallied and rewrite here, 156 here, 1040 here. Now we'll go for income and expenditure account preparation. Income and expenditure account. Under income and expenditure account, we'll start with the subscription for the period. Subscription. That's a predominant income. 6240, the amount transferable to the income and expenditure will be my income, 6,240. From there, all others are expenses. I'm going to subtract the expenses. Under that, we have been given rent paid, 2080. Insurance paid, but actually we have to consider the insurance for the period, but here insurance paid is given 732. In case of advance, it should be subtracted. If there is any opening advance, that should be added. Any advance being meant for this period should be added, so opening will be added, closing should be subtracted, 366. Then what about the final value? What about the final value? 2498. Okay, 732 plus 348, 366, 714, 714. And we have been given another expenses, general expenses also. General expenses. General expenses in this case being 2498. 2498. Not only that, if you are writing the subscription down, it's a loss. Be careful. This amount should be also be considered as expenses. Subscription written off. Irrecoverable debt, usually what you do? transfer to the expenses side of the income and expenditure account. Income means income statement. Similarly, here income and expenditure account. This value being 208. Then overall loss and expenses put together comes around 5,500. From the subscription income phase, subtract the surplus for the period being 740. This is surplus. Surplus. Okay. Question number 3. The financial year of VL Sports Limited ends on 31st December. The treasurer provided the following information about receipts and payments. So this is all about receipts and payment. Our duty is to prepare predominantly income and expenditure account. Let's see. Treasurer also provided the following information: equipment, general expenses and all. Of the subscription in arrears on 1st January 2020, an amount $80 had not been paid by December 2020, by 31st December, and is to be written off as irrecoverable. Okay. In this, 80 rupees is non-recoverable, maybe irrecoverable debt, like you can show this. Prepare the subscription account, balance the account and bring down the balances on 1st January 2021. Also, you need to prepare the income and expenditure account. This one also similar to the earlier illustration, so we'll try to finish up this just like that. It's pretty simple. You know that the format here for subscription as well as for income and expenditure account. Okay. In case of subscription account, here we start with the balance brought down and balance brought down, balance carried on, balance carried on. You finish up writing the format here. So here balance brought down, balance brought down. And when you receive the money, it should be posted here, bank or cash. The other side, the amount transferable to the income and expenditure account. In case of write-off or similar to irrecoverable debt, you can post here. And as well as we need to prepare income and expenditure account. Under that, income. From there, you have to subtract the expenses also. Expenses. So then you will get the surplus or deficit. Clear? And subscription receipts 19,200 should be posted here, receipt side. Competition receipts and dinner dance ticket sales. These are the special events like or special business like. This will be separately worked out. So sometimes the club conducts some competitions, some get together with the dinner. Further, the amount will be collected separately from the members and amount spent for those purposes. And after adjusting the expenses from this collection, any amount left over will be surplus or deficit can be transferred to the income and expenditure account. Competition receipts and competition prices. Dinner dance ticket sales and dinner dance costs. Right, apart from that, equipment purchased. We'll deal it separately. So we have completed the subscription. In case of competition receipts, surplus from competition. Okay, surplus from competitions. Subscription, main income, and competition surplus. Okay, competition surplus and dinner dance surplus. Okay, you can write here separately. 7,300 minus 4,100, surplus being 3,100, 200. Number 1, 3,200. And in case of dinner, 6,500, and spend for that purpose is 6,200. We have only 300 rupees surplus here. Over. Equipment will incorporate that later on, as it's a capital expenditure, will not come here, but depreciation on the equipment will be posted in the expenses side. General expenses 11,500. Again, here general expenses related owings are there. General expenses 11,500 minus owing in the year end, surplus owing in the year end, minus owing in the beginning. Current year owing related to the current year amount recoverable, so added previous year owing might have been paid in this year but not related to this year, so I have to remove this. So then the ultimate value being 11,600. 11,600. And equipment net book value is here. You can open the equipment account as an asset account here to find out the depreciation, if any. In case of asset, the balance brought down should be in the debit side. Balance carried on should be in the credit side. Balance carried on. Whenever the value of the asset increases, should be posted here. Asset decreases, the transaction decreases, the asset value should be posted here in the credit side. Now, opening value of the equipment being 23,000. In the year end, the value being 30,000 rupees. Payments means we might have purchased the equipment, that increases the value of the equipment, which is 12,000. Which is 12,000. Clear? Bank, new purchases. And if you tally this, 35,000, 5,000 value decreases, not due to sales. In case of sales, it may be appearing in the receipt side. As it is not being the sales, it may be considered as what? Depreciation. Balancing figure. Depreciation is also an asset. I put that value here. Depreciation on equipment. I can name this being working note number 3. 5,000 rupees. And we have completed all this posting. Subscription in arrears. Arrears in the beginning. Here, asset, no. Income arrear being the asset should be here. If you receive the income in advance, liabilities should be here. So, arrear in the beginning 700. In the end 300. And advances in the beginning 1100. In the end 900 rupees. Apart from that, the amount recoverable from the previous year 700, out of that 80 rupees confirmed not recoverable. It may be named as irrecoverable debt or subscription written off here, that value being 300. That written off irrecoverable debt is a loss, will be posted here. Okay, irrecoverable debt. Value being 80 rupees, sorry, this is 80 rupees. Should be posted twice, irrecoverable debt. Okay, 80 rupees. Now, if you tally, then you will get the subscription value. I think the credit side value is 20,680. Cross verify by tallying this, and here 20,680. And the balance figure will be the income transferable to the income and expenditure account, 19,080. Balancing figure. I'll post that here, 19,080. If I total this, total income in this case being 22,580, total expenses 16,680, surplus being 5,900. This is surplus. Is that clear? the difference between income and expenses. Question number 4. Shiv and Soup Club offers membership to people who are interested in sharing sewing and knitting patterns. It runs refreshment cafe for members. So refreshment cafe also there. This will be treated as a business. This will be treated as business. For that you can prepare income statement. And rest will be income and expenditure account. So we have been given some particulars related to various assets and liabilities in 2 years. Okay. We'll start with this one. Now, the following total are for the year ended 31st December 2021. Receipts and payment details are here. I have to incorporate. And what are the ledgers to be prepared? Prepare subscription account, balance the account and bring down the balances on 1st January. Very simple. Profit and refreshment, this will be resembles like a business. So you have to prepare an income statement for this. Income statement. Clear? Now, and you have to prepare current account section of the club's statement of financial position. So that also you may be aware about. So we'll finish up just like that. Yeah, we'll start here. We'll start here. Yeah. So subscription account. Subscription account. And we have to prepare two more accounts. Two more account. One is all about income statement. Income statement to find out the income from cafe, and current account section in your financial account, current assets section. Okay. Subscription advance, in this case how can we write? Balance brought down, balance carried down, balance carry down, balance brought down. Format, you finish a format first. And bank and cash. Here amount transferable to the income and expenditure account. The opening balance being the outstanding here. Advance should be here. Let me finish up available information. Subscription in advance. Initially 2,260, 1745 here, being the advance will be posted in the credit and debit side. Subscription in arrear 1820, 2115. Inventory of refreshment will deal it separately. Rent paid in advance. See, these are the current assets. These are the current assets. I'll post that value here. What are the items are coming under current assets? Inventory of refreshment will be the current assets. I'll post that here. Inventory of refreshment. Whatever the asset remains unused the year end, or expenses paid in advance, and income receivable, all these things are the current assets. Okay, refreshment. this value being 1130, 1130, and rent paid in advance, as we paid the expenses in advance asset, rent paid in advance, value 500. Trade payables for refreshment supplies, it's a current liabilities, will not come here. Bank balance also current assets, bank balance. Okay, bank balance. This bank balance being 7,743, 7,743. And subscription received all by check, 13,900. I post here. Cash sales from refreshment. So refreshment, this will be treated separately. Rent, wages, other expenses, trade payables for refreshment supplies, all these things are the other payments. But those things not asked here. Those things are not asked. So we have to find out especially income from this particular activity. Let me finish up subscription account first. The total of credit side being 18,275, 18,275, and income and expenditure being the balancing figure 14,710. Is that okay? Now, this amount advance 1,745, 2,115. This will also be considered as your income. I'll post that value here. Subscription outstanding 2,115. If I tally this, the total being 11,488. So in current assets, any inventory in the year end, in case of expenses paid in advance, in case of income being outstanding, these are called your current assets. Okay. And apart from that, bank and other cash balances. These are the items falls under current assets. Now I have to find out the inventory case, income statement, the amount recovered or profit earned because of running the this one, refreshment 6. Okay. In case of refreshment, cash sales from refreshment being this much, revenue, income, revenue from operations. This value being 17,650. You could remember that income statement, right? From your financial income statement in your financial statements chapter. From there you can understand. From there you have to subtract cost of sales. Cost of sales. Okay. You have to start with opening inventory. Here the opening inventory being 1070. Add purchases. Do we have any purchases information? We don't have the purchases information. If you don't have the purchases information, then you can prepare a refreshment account. This is what about some small inventories account, like here opening balance should be here and closing balance should be here. Brought down and carried on. If this value increases, should be posted here. If it is decreasing, it should be posted here. In case of refreshment, new purchases will increase, and in case of cost of sales, it will decrease. That's the logic. Or payment to them will be decreasing. Your cost of sales will be decreasing. And we need to understand the trade payables account also to know what is the purchases. I may write here trade payables. I stop preparing this one because I need to know the GP. I'm not aware about the gross profit margin. So I prepare the trade payables. In case of trade payables, balance brought down in the credit side, balance carried down should be in the debit side. If the amount payable to them increases, should be posted here, decreases should be posted here. Trade payables for the refreshment in the beginning 1940, in the end 1580. In the end 1580. And when it is increasing, if there is any purchases, it will increase the value. When it is going to be decreasing, when the payment happens here, payment to them. From the payments, trade payables for the required refreshment being 10,435 is paid. As payment is found out, then the purchases can be easily found out by missing data. Here 10,435 plus 1,580, this value being 12,015. 12,015. 12,015 minus 1,940, then the ultimate value being 10,075. I now post that value here 10,075. 11,145 from there minus closing inventory. You need to remember this from financial statements chapter, how should the income statement should be. And to find out the missing data, especially in case of purchases, trade payables account is prepared. In case of sales missing data, then trade receivables account also be prepared. And this refreshment account can be prepared if I know the cost of sales to get any opening or closing stock can also be found out. But here, of course, I thought I need to prepare, but not required. So I skip that. And closing inventory in this case being 1130. 1130. Now the cost of sales being 10,015. After subtracting this one from 17,650, the ultimate profit on sale or operation of this cafe being 7,635. Profit on refreshment. Profit on refreshment. Is that okay? Refreshments. Clear? Question number 5. ABC Piano Club provides facilities for its members. It also runs a coffee shop where members can buy hot drinks and snacks. So coffee shop is a separate one. Okay. So the club has no intention to make the profit. While operating the club, now and then they may have some small business activities also. For that you have to prepare income statement. What are the requirement? You have to find out the accumulated fund first of all. Accumulated fund is nothing but capital. Like incomplete records, you add all the assets and from there liabilities are subtracted to find out the capital. No, the same way you can do here also. Then second requirement being following totals have taken from the club's receipts and payments. So this is what about the receipts and payment. From that you have to prepare subscription account and balance that, and prepare club's rent and insurance account for the year ended, and prepare income statement. So you have to prepare rent and insurance account. Okay. For rent and insurance, this one you have to prepare one account. For subscription you have to prepare one account. This is second account. And you have to prepare income statement for the coffee shop. For the coffee shop means the separate division. So it's not income and expenditure account. Right. Let's start with finding the accumulated fund. Accumulated fund. So accumulated fund to be calculated and found for which year? For the year beginning, 31st December 2023. Okay. For the year beginning. Now pianos at cost asset, and pianos from the provision for depreciation on that will be subtracted. You have to identify the assets here. What are the assets we have? Pianos, Net of that will be your net book value 7,200, and subscription received in advance is being the liability, arrear being the assets, subscription arrear 390, and subscription advance will be your liability. Club insurance paid in advance, if the expenses paid in advance, then it is asset. This is asset 140. Club rent paid in arrear, as this will be the arrear, expenses arrear being the outstanding liability, rent arrear, this value being 435. Coffee shop inventory asset, coffee shop 320. Trade payables for the coffee shop supplies, liability, okay, liability, trade payables. And cash and bank balance being the asset, also being debit balance. If it is being the credit, liabilities, so it's a debit balance only 2045. The total assets being 10,095, total liabilities being 1,285. If you subtract this one from here, you will get the accumulated fund. The accumulated fund being 8,810. Then what you have to do? You have to prepare the subscription account and club rent and insurance account. Okay, these two accounts are going to be prepared. Okay. Subscription, rent and insurance, and income statement of coffee shop. Subscription, okay. Subscription account, and next one being club rent and insurance. Club rent and insurance, account. Then coffee shop income statement, So we have to prepare these three. Let's see. Yeah, of course, I need this details also, receipts and payment detail also. I keep it here. Now, I'll post the date also here, because the date also carries the mark. Year beginning 1/1/23, 1/1/23, balance brought down, and year end 31st December 24. Sorry, 24. This one. Okay. Balance carried on. And for the next period, this will be 31st December 24. 1/1/25 balance brought down. 1/1/25 balance brought down. Hope you'll be now able to understand how to code the dates. Bank, and this will be amount transferable to the income and expenditure account. Related to the subscription received 7,800 here from the receipts and payment account. I have chosen this one. And piano, this okay. Subscription received in advance, these two. So advance being your liability, okay, outstanding being your assets. So we have been given the advances, these two, 650 and 715. 715. These two are being the liabilities, means assets, arrear being assets 390 and 325. Okay. Subscription related is over, so we'll now try to finish up this one. 8775. Amount transferable to the income and expenditure account being 7670. Don't forget to rewrite the balances to the next year's first date, 715 and 325. Even the proper quoting of the date will fetch one additional mark, so be careful here. With that, this part is over. So now we have to incorporate only few more items. So I don't want any other things other than this. I remove this. Yeah. Then we have to prepare club rent and insurance account. So club insurance paid in advance in the year beginning, advance being expenses paid in advance being the asset. So balance 1124, balance brought down 1124, balance brought down, and 31st December 24, 31st December 24, balance carried on, balance carried on. So as this is being the expenses, advance will be your asset, outstanding will be your liabilities. So write the other side also, 1125, 1125. This balance carried on becomes balance brought down here. Here balance brought down, balance brought down. Hope you'll be now able to understand this. Club insurance paid in advance. If you made the payment in advance, it's your asset. So I post that value here, 140 and 155. This resembles like other receivables and payables like club rent paid in arrears. So this being the outstanding, 435 should be here, and year end we don't have any arrear. Coffee shop inventory. So here revenue from sale of coffee or any items in the coffee shop minus expenses. This is income and expenditure. No, you can remember opening stock plus purchases, opening inventory. With that opening inventory, you can add the purchases. Okay. Okay. Opening inventory. Opening inventory. You have to add the purchases minus closing inventory. That's the order or format. Right. I now focus only related to the coffee shop. We have been given the coffee shop inventories 320 in the beginning, 382 in the end. Trade payables for the coffee shops, then it's better to prepare the trade payables account. To find out what about the purchases, I need to know the purchases. Balance carried down. This is brought down. This is only a working note. No, so you never bother about the dates. Balance carried on. Now, trade payables in the beginning 200, in the end 186. Cash at bank, it's an asset, but anyhow not required for our calculations purpose currently. Coffee shop sales being 8,320, that's the main revenue, 8,320. Club rent and insurance payment 6,700. Any amount meant for the period will be transferable to the income and expenditure account. Amount paid will be posted here, bank and cash. This is just similar to the subscription account, like, because in reverse case, because that's an income, this is an expenses. Okay, so the payment to them being 6,700. Other club expenses 375. Club expenses, other club expenses, the common expenses will be transferable to the income and expenditure account. And trade payables, payment made to the trade payables here, trade payables, and here bank. As you are making the payment to the trade payables, amount payable is decreasing. In case of credit purchases, the balance payable to the trade payables are going to be increasing. And coffee shop wages, this is related to this coffee shop only, so it should be part of this one, wages for the coffee shop. If it is specifically mentioned, then you can take. Should not have any confusions. Why don't we take this one, sir? If you ask that question, it's not related to this. This is a common one. They have their own club operations. So for club operation, they incur this. But this wages is exclusively for operating the coffee shop. Will be subtracted from here, 2,600. Right. And trade payables, payment made to them. Payables, payment made to them, 3,815. If you tally, then you will be able to find out the purchases made. Yes, find out the value. 4,001. 4,001. 3,801. Either you can prepare this trade payables account, or you can simply do plus or minus, like so. With that, you add this and subtract this one, you'll get this answer. That's how it is shown in the text. You can follow that way also, no problem. So purchases being 3,801. So the total value being, if you add up this, 4,121. From that, if you subtract 382, so the ultimate value being 3739. If you subtract these two from 8,320, your profit from operating this shop being 1981. So profit from operation. Profit from operation. Now we can tally this also. If I tally this 6,840, 6,840, then income and expenditure balance being 6,250. 6,250. Is that clear? And there is no balance, so forget about that. But we have balance here, so I can post that 155 here. So this question carries 20 marks. We have completed with all the provisions required here. Number 6. Sports Tea is a club providing sporting facilities to its members. The club hires all sporting equipment. The club also runs a small cafe selling food and refreshments which members and guests can use. So cafe is a separate one. For that, you can prepare separate income statement. All sales from cafe are on a cash basis. The club treasurer has provided the following information. So receipts and payments details are given here. Okay, we'll start this one. Receipts and payment. And apart from that, these are the additional particulars also be available. Okay, I think all these things are again payments only. One of the lengthiest illustrations. Additional information. The contract for hiring the sports equipment is $34,800 per annum and is paid monthly. Okay, contract for hiring the sports equipment. Hiring cost $31,900. 34,800 should be payable, but only 31,900 is paid. What does it mean? There may be outstanding. Okay. Receipts and payments. Here hiring charges being 34,800. 34,800. Now, rent of premises is paid for the period from 1st January 23 to 31st January 24. The payment is for 13 months. For 2023 completely, and for 2024 1 month for January. This payment, rent payment being for 13 months. This is for 13 months payment. Now prepare cafe income statement, subscription account, and income and expenditure account of sports tea club. So here we have to prepare income and expenditure account also. Right. Let me prepare all the ledger account here. Okay. Now, subscription account. So we have to prepare subscription account. And income statement for cafe, income statement, and we have to prepare income and expenditure account also. Income and expenditure account for the club. For the club. Cafe sales. That's a predominant income I may post here. Sales. Revenue 27,000. Member subscription. So in case of member subscription, balance brought down, bank, and here transferable to the income and expenditure account, balance carried on, and balance brought down. Don't forget to write the dates. This will be the year beginning 1st January 23, 1st January 23, 1st January 23. Thereafter, all the values are being for the year end 31st December 23. 31st December 23. This will be the first date of the next period 1124. 1124. Now, member subscription 1,62,000 rupees being the receipts. Bank interest 720 will be named as other income in your income and expenditure account, especially under income Subscription is the predominant income. I have to find out the subscription for the period after preparing the subscription account. So I'll keep it pending. The value will be posted later on. So bank interest also another other income. This value being 720. 720. Salaries and wages for sports coaches will be the expenses posted here. Cafe, this will be for cafe purpose. No, it will be transferred to the income statement of cafe. Rest of the things will be transferred to the income expenditure. So here expenses. Under that, salaries and wages for sports coaches. Okay, the value being 58 to 20. 58 to 20. Administration salary. Admin. The value here being 31,720. Cafe assistant wages. It's a part of cafe related, right? So I'll deduct here. Cost of sales. You know that the format of cost of sales. Opening inventory. Add purchase of any inventory in that period. Minus closing inventory. And cafe assistant wages. This value being 14,352. Rent of premises. So rent will be part of your expenses. Anyhow, the rent of premises is for 13 months, but we need to consider only for 12 months. 16,250, but we account only for the 12 months. So you have to calculate for the 12 months. 16,250 into 12 by 13. Value being 15,000. Hiring cost, sports equipment, 34,800 for the period. 31,900 only paid. So difference between these two is your outstanding. Anyhow, we can post here directly hiring cost. Hiring cost for the period will be your expenses, 34,800. The difference between these two is the outstanding. Maybe consider as current liabilities. We never prepared. We are not going to prepare that one here. So don't worry about that part. 34,800. Rates and insurance 3,200. Also be expenses, rates and insurance. I hope we don't have any adjustment for this. If we have, then we can adjust that later on. So here the value being 3,200. Purchase of food and drink for resale. Okay. Cafe related purchases, 8,220. Okay, 8,220. Purchases given here. Accountancy fees, part of the comprehensive income for the club. Accountancy fees. The value being 2,400. And inventory of food and drink in the beginning, in the end. Beginning being 1,290, in the end 1,340. Subscription owing from previous year. Outstanding of the previous year. Outstanding being your asset. Advance being your liabilities. So here we have been given subscription owing 1,520. Outstanding 1,520. And receipts and payment account debit. This is nothing but opening cash balance. Okay. We never bother about the cash or bank account to be posted in our financial statement. So as we are not preparing financial position, never bother about this. And subscription received in advance. Current year there is an advance. 2,800 should be your liability. And outstanding is also there, 1,280. In the beginning, we don't have any advance amount. We don't have any advance amount. Now, finish up the subscriptions. First of all, on telling the subscription, okay, this side value 1,63,280, 1,63,280. Amount transferable to the income and expenditure being the balancing figure 1,58,960. Already I kept here, I may post that here, 1,58,960. And this balance will be posted here, 2,800. Of course, we have the balance here also, 1,200. In case of income statement for the cafe, add these to 9,510, subtract 1,340, then ultimate value being 8,170. Now, these two values are subtracted from 27,000. Profit from sale of any items or items in the cafe being 4,478. This profit will be transferable to profit for the year from the cafe, transferable to the income and expenditure account. Okay, this is a common head where this income is also part of this one. So you have to transfer here. Profit from cafe. This value being 4,478. The total income being 1,64,158. The total expenses here being 1,45,340. If you subtract the expenses from your income, surplus for the period here being surplus for the year being 18,818. 18,818. Clear? Question number 7. The Sporting Excellence Club provides sports facilities for its members. It also runs a shop where members can buy sportswear. The club's assets and liabilities included the following also be given. And okay, this will be the some assets and liabilities. Apart from that, receipts and payments also be given here. These are the receipts and payments are also be available. Now, what are the questions to be answered here? Prepare subscription and bring the balance down. Rent and insurance account. And shop purchases and income statement for the shop. Shop purchases and income statement. So here we have to find out the purchases. Right. So for the subscription, and rent and insurance account. Rent and insurance account. Subscription account. Subscription account. Rent and insurance account. Rent and insurance account. Rent and insurance account. This one over, this one over. Shop purchases to be calculated, and you have to prepare income statement. For calculation of purchases, you can prepare the trade payables account so that you will be getting that answer comfortably. Okay. Shop purchases, trade payables account, or other payables. And you have to prepare income statement. Income statement for shop. For shop. Now, in subscription, I skip the dates in this illustration so you can manage it yourself. Balance brought down. Balance brought down. And balance carried on. Balance carried on. Here balance brought down. Balance brought down. Amount collected being here, bank and cash. Transferable to the income and expenditure for the period should be here. You remember the format and finish a format just like that first. In case of rent and insurance and trade payables, rent and insurance being your expenses. Right. If you are making the payment, bank will be here, and amount for the period is transferable to the income and expenditure account. In case of trade payables, opening balance should be here, balance brought down. Closing balance should be in the credit side as is being the liabilities. If the amount payable to them increases, it should be posted at the credit side, and if the balance decreases, it should be posted on the debit side. So balance brought down. Decreases should be here. What increases the amount payable to them? Purchases. That took credit purchases. Once you make the payment to them, the amount payable to them is reduces. Should be posted on the other side. In case of income statement, start with the revenue. From there, you can subtract the expenses. The expenses related to the shop will be identified and subtracted. Now try to post all the known items where you can transfer. Subscription received in advance. If you are receiving in advance, it's an liability. Liability should be in the credit side. So 610 should be here and 570 should be here. Subscription received in arrears. So as it is being the arrear, you can post the other side is being the asset, right? 480 and 465. Insurance paid in advance. Insurance paid in advance. And shop inventory is there. So revenue, I can subtract the expenses, especially cost of sales. Under cost of sales, opening inventory, add purchases less closing inventory. Okay, here we have been given the inventories, opening and closing. Opening inventory 2500, closing inventory 2750. Insurance paid in advance not required currently because we are not going to prepare income and expenditure, so this one is not required. Trade payables for the shop supplies 2140, 2470 trade payables. Subscription received 11,950. Shop sales, it's a predominant revenue here, 31,890. And trade payables for the shop supplies 23,290. Okay, here is payment 23,290. The payables to the payment made to the trade payables 23,290. Shop wages related to this one, special expenses meant for this shop only should be subtracted from here, the value being 3,268. Club rent and insurance, of course, not required. It's a common expenses to be posted only in the income and expenditure account. We are not going to prepare that, not asked here. But of course, there is an adjustment here. So this ledger account to be prepared, no. So we can now incorporate those things here. Rent and insurance paid in advances. If the insurance payment is in advance, then it's an asset, should be posted here. Balance brought down. balance carried on. Advance being your assets. So 240 in the beginning asset, 250 in the end asset. Insurance paid in advance. And club rent and insurance paid being 7,390. 7,390. Other club expenses not required. We are not going to bother about the other club expenses. We have posted all the items required. Now you can close one after one from subscription account. We start from here 13,025. 13,025. After subtracting these two values, the amount transferable to the income and expenditure account being 11,975. 11,975. So here 570, here 465. The balance should be posted on the other side for the next year's first date. Then in case of rent and insurance, the value being 7,630. 7,630. After subtracting 250, the balance amount transferable to the income and expenditure here being 7,380. And trade payables account. Here we have the values in the debit side can be total easily 25,760 because we got all the values here. And the balancing figure being the purchases 23,620. Now we'll go for the income statement. So revenue is given, cost of sales, opening inventory is given, purchases is not given. So we calculated the purchases here in trade payables. So we can transfer from here to here 23,620. Now add these two and subtract this one, then the ultimate value being 23,370. From here, cost of sales is subtracted, then I will get 8,520. From the 8,520, you can subtract the shop wages. So profit on shop for the year 52,000. So 52. This is what about the profit from shop. Profit from shop. Clear? Hope you'll be now able to understand the structure here.